Oh, it's good to get back in here.
Yeah, welcome back. And everyone, welcome back to the Heimer. I'm Jon.
I'm Jacob.
And this is the Heimer.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for all your support.
Back in the camper.
Yep, we're back here. We've got so much to talk about and unpack all the time.
Always.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yep. The more we talk, the more we have to talk about.
It's curious.
Yeah. Well, what are we doing today?
Well, so how... basically, the intersection between humans and computers. What is that intersection, and what happens if we take that further?
That can be terrifying.
Yeah.
Huh, okay. Well, I don't know much about this topic. I think about it a lot, but...
Yeah, so do I. And especially, because we have computers with us.
Yeah.
Oh, hey!
What? Hey, Danny!
Did I hear you say something about computers and brains and...
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Well,
were saying how we're experts on it. So.
Yeah.
No, wait, no.
Well,
No, we're not
not
experts.
experts.
We're not experts.
Not
on it.
experts
Wrong.
on
Oh,
this.
okay, well, in that case...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Well,
Danny.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, I was just walking in the area.
Oh, yeah, great. Right by the camper, and you probably saw this exquisite camper.
Yeah.
Decided to say hi.
And you study agriculture and botany or something? Is that right?
Yeah, so it's really similar, but it's
Very
physics and
different.
neuroscience.
Well, that actually helps us with our topic today.
Yeah. I had this dream the other night. No, okay. I won't. Yeah. So... Yeah.
So, are robots going to take over?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think some people think they might.
Do you think
But-
they will?
Wow.
Like in Terminator?
Terminator
Was it Terminator?
style.
Like, boom, boom,
Or
boom.
iRobot?
Oh, yeah.
Style.
Yeah, and we'll have to be getting we'll be shooting shotguns out our windows at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's already
When do I need to get a shotgun?
When do you need to get it? Well, I don't know. Shotguns will be good against robots, right? If they're metal.
Ooh.
They're made out of
Okay.
titanium
Yeah,
or something, right?
They're going to be,
Titanium bullets. This has got to be the stuff you study and you know about.
This is what
right? Hey, this is what goes
Your
on at our
thesis
fine
should be about
university.
when to buy a shotgun.
Yeah, let's get right to the point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really the intersection of, brains and computers and Second Amendment. That's really what this is about.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice.
Whoa, okay.
No.
Are there people with microchips in their brains walking around on the planet right now?
I'm not going there.
So there are. You're not really
you're not-
answering. Whoa, John.
Blink once if you have one.
Yeah. That's why
he's
you're
not
so
telling us to
smart.
get shotguns right now.
Yeah. Anyway.
What were we talking about?
Okay. I don't know.
So
next question.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, well, so what is the reality of all this stuff? I mean, you're in the real world of these kind of discussions and the front lines of this understanding. Is there some real practical reality to the biological world and computers mixing?
Yeah, sure. So Elon Musk has his company Neuralink, and right now it's a lot of medical applications. That's sort of one avenue, is medical applications. For example, let's talk about seizures. If you have seizures, that's essentially your brain is going crazy, your neurons are all firing at once. Well, if you put some sort of chip in the brain and you can detect when a seizure can stop, you could maybe potentially stop it by sort of you're almost causing activity in a certain way that can it's a targeted pushback against the seizure, and you could push back on that seizure and just stop it in its tracks before it gets momentum and can really get going, I guess. So that's one example of where we're at right now. That's where technology is currently headed. It's so that's medical. There's also sort of computer enhancing. You can sort of control computers, maybe through brain activities. You could be thinking about moving a cursor across the screen. You could be thinking about words, and they show up on the computer. And then there's
Which has other medical.
yeah,
That's like
yeah,
a medical
sure.
aid, right? You can't.
Yeah. Well, you can translate that to moving an arm, a bionic arm or something like that.
Somebody with cerebral palsy or something could be their life could really be improved.
Yeah,
by
for
something
sure.
like that.
Yeah. So I feel like right now, we're headed towards a healthy direction.
Yeah.
But as with every technology, you never know where it's going to end up. Are we going to end up with, as we improve these connections, like, wow, what does it mean to be human anymore?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the question of this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
At what point, if you get modifications, right, and you have computers assisting you that are built into your body, and you have robotic arms or limbs or whatever, at what point are you more robot than human?
Well, does it have to be built in?
Well,
Could it be wireless, you mean? Like a
Well-
Bluetooth sort of thing?
This is kind of where I'm going is we already have direct access to information right now. Though we can't access it directly with our minds, we have to use our minds to control our fingers than to type on our phone, right? But so what's the difference between our minds controlling our fingers to type on our phones to Google something than our brains just kind of jumping over our impulses to text just directly to Google? So why aren't we now basically non-human?
Oh, I see. Wow, that's very philosophical. I guess that you would say right now we have actual neurons that are communicating those signals, but you could have not neurons but wires, electronic wires, so non-organic matter that's communicating from one part of your body to another. Maybe.
Well, John and I talked about this another time in a different context, but what if, I'm going a little bit off of that, there's so much to think about here, but what if a human alive today started having their parts replaced? Like first a knee, then another knee, then their hip, and then their cornea, their heart, maybe a lung. At what point are they not the same person?
Yeah, that's a great question. What does it even mean to be who you are?
Yeah. Ooh.
What if we could transfer your consciousness to another body?
Whoa. whoa. Do people here, I mean this innocently, I really have no idea, but do people in the scientific world, is there an ethical check on scientific discovery? So is there, as you have been going through all this schooling and getting more and more advanced, do people like you and others are there ethic classes? Are there ethic filters that everything has to run through? Or is it kind of like advances, as much as you can, and that's...
Yeah, there's no, committee that's discussing this stuff or anything. There's no... I think it's in the back of everyone's minds. I don't think anybody wants to ruin the world, Everyone that's trying to discover these things, their motivations are, I would say, most, There's probably some crazies out there, but most people want to improve the world in some way, right? They want to, the medical applications that we were talking about for Elon Musk or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. It's always in the back of your mind, I guess. What could potentially be the damage of this?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I know when this is not, I'm not comparing this to anything you do or even the topic that much, but just thinking about science overall, the classic example is Einstein's huge amount of depression and guilt over helping build the bomb because he thought he was just advancing science and working on a clean energy or whatever, and then
even if we think about technology today and a lot of the algorithms that are feeding us information, I don't think people really thought about the consequences of those algorithms. like what kind of beliefs you have, so you get fed more of that same
social media. You're talking like
social media, yeah.
The the artificial intelligence that decides like, okay, you're looking at this type of info. Well, we want to keep you on our sites, so let's feed you this other type of info that's similar to that, and then it just sort of leads you further and further down this hole that you get stuck in, and that's how...
And you start building your beliefs off of that because you keep seeing it over and over again. So you start like, okay, well, I believe that now.
This actually ties back in. We'll make a full circle.
Sure.
It ties back into, neuroscience in a way, which is artificial intelligence. So now you have some sort of brain that's completely artificial, and it can get smarter and smarter and smarter. Well, these algorithms are some type of artificial intelligence, but at this point they don't know what they're doing. They're told to give a specific task, which is, we want viewers on our site. We want people to click on this. That's their only goal. But they don't have any ethical boundaries, constraints on them. They're trying to achieve that goal, and they'll, do whatever they can do to achieve that. So
I guess I didn't even realize that. It kind of makes sense as you say that, but I thought maybe there were actually people saying, let's kind of focus on this group of people and the way they're looking at things, and let's try to bring them into our company or buy things. But maybe it's all just automated.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of marketing teams that are trying to, figure out a certain group, but I'm more thinking Facebook, which is they set up an artificial intelligence to do all this for them. And Google and all these social media companies do the same thing, and they just try to they say, okay, you've clicked on this, other people that have clicked on this have liked this thing, so then let's share you this, and then what that does is, okay, now you come back to their site, which brings them ad revenue or something, right? And that gets them money. So that's the only goal of this, is we want more money. How do we do that? We need people to visit our site. How do we get people to visit our site? We'll feed them information that will, fascinate them in some way.
Yeah.
But I think it's turned into a kind of a dangerous thing. You get people falling into these conspiracy theory holes that there's no factual evidence behind these, but they're surrounded by it constantly, 24/7, by their media.
Man, I'm assuming they didn't design it that way. I'm assuming they didn't want to spread that stuff, so...
I don't think the designers had any idea that was going to be the outcome of it.
So how scary is that, knowing that people are going to start putting chips in your head? You'll be able to start just searching Google with your mind.
Right. Well, then you could be controlled in very sort of pragmatic and scary ways, like just when you're driving or when you're, ice skating or something. Like it could be a real problem if. Yeah,
I guess you need to put some sort of restriction on the outside influence of this, right? I think maybe this ties back into what you're saying about, like, do you keep it all internal, right? Is it your mind that's controlling what's happening, and you want to make sure that nobody else can control what you are doing? It's only your mind that's controlling what you're doing. I don't know, but I'm sure when
even your mind can be persuaded by outside factors.
I guess that's,
So let's talk about free will.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's exactly what I was going to say. Do we have free will? Already, have we lost it? I mean, is it like, I don't know about you guys, but like I often look at Facebook and think like same thing what you're saying. How do these people believe these conspiracies? But really, those people are saying the same things about that I'm believing. They're saying, how does that guy believe all this crazy stuff? And everybody just thinks everybody's crazy, and there's all this division and stuff. And are there people with complete free will right now?
Yeah, do you have to live out in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, do you have to be completely removed from it?
Well, do you have, if you're being influenced, right? But isn't that still you making your choices? If somebody convinces you of something, let's start basic, right? If I convince you to go and do something tonight or whatever, are you doing that of your own free will?
Or right, as persuasion?
Yeah, I would say that's your free will
Probably.
To go and decide whether to do it or to not to do it.
Yeah.
In a way, but also I have been persuaded by companies to buy a product because I thought I needed it, but it's sat on a shelf. I've like maybe used it once, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've appealed to some of my maybe more human characteristics, some more instinctual things that I have. And I wish I had an example, but I don't.
Yeah, but at
like,
the end of the day, you could have not bought it.
Yeah.
So if we're talking free will, you still have the free will to make that choice, even if you're being influenced, I think.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's like, no,
Twisting
you're
your
right.
arm on it.
But even then, like, I think you still have free will. Like, you can endure the pain. There's nothing, like, in your head that is, like, without you knowing, going and buying the thing.
Yeah, whereas, right, if you have a chip in your head that can somehow communicate in some way and convince you to, say it knows that you're watching Google or scrolling through some web page and you have an ad and it, like, catches your eye that you went over there really briefly, and now, whatever company built this chip, they have built in something that, like, gives a little boost of whatever chemical, I'm forgetting the name. That I'm coming from neuroscientists here for blanking on the name. I'll think of it later, 10 minutes later, but the chemical that, like, makes you, get excited about that and, whatever. And so you see, and now you have a good reaction to that or something. So now, is that against your free will? You still might be deciding, like, oh yeah, I think I do want that. But it was also an outside influence. I don't know.
Yeah.
That gets tricky.
So where do you see this going? Where do you see all of this human-computer interaction going? What does the future look like?
I think we're going to, with the same thing with the internet, we're going to hit rough spots. Where I think right now we're in a rough spot. The internet was invented, things went crazy, and we're, like, still trying to figure out how do we do this? Laws haven't even caught up to stuff 30 years ago,
Yeah.
But technology is going to keep improving, and humanity is going to keep advancing regardless. It's going to happen. It's just, like, the way things are moving. And I think I like to be an optimist and think that, yeah, okay, we might be in a rough spot now, but long term, it's good that we have all this information freely available to us in terms of the internet, and long term, I think that's a good thing. And I think the same thing with brain-computer interfacing as a topic. It's, it might cause some crazy disruptions. People aren't gonna. It might take them a long time to figure out the law to catch up, or even people to, catch up with this stuff. But I think long term it'll be a good thing. Humanity can advance in that way.
So if we all have access to the same information, and it's all the information that humans have ever thought of, are we all the same human?
What do you mean by that? All the same human?
Yeah, we're all the same human.
Just actually
we have
the
all,
same individual.
We have all have access to the exact same information. We all know everything that every
Like
other
a
human knows.
Collective conscience, or
yeah. Do we become that?
Is that what we become? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think we are now.
No, I don't think we are either.
No.
I mean, it's interesting, there's still people on the planet that have never even heard of the internet and have no relationship with any of that.
But no, actually, you bring up an interesting point, something I don't know if I've thought of, is, these groups of people on the internet, they kind of have, like, a group think of, like, echo chamber almost, like they start thinking this way, and then other people, everyone just has the same thoughts, the same ideas and everything, and there's not really an individuality. It's just sort of like the group of, this group of people. And on the internet, the way you interact with them, it's all the same. You wouldn't be able to distinguish individuals.
You can talk to one of them, you've talked to all of them.
Yeah. So I guess in that way, it's almost, they are almost...
It's almost happening.
Like them combined with, like, their interactions on the internet is like a collective...
Whoa.
That's like one being, almost. I don't know.
Maybe that's like the future of religion or something. Maybe that is what the altar in which we worship.
Yeah, well, maybe, if we get all these chips in our head, and we can maybe these, you know, we can communicate with each other with these. We can access the internet and instantly communicate with each other with our thoughts. You know, that's a collective conscious, right?
Yeah.
If you can instantly communicate with every other person on the world, you know, that's the topic of a lot of sci-fi, like, you know, synthetic, you know, the synthetic people, you know, whatever, robots that, like, they're collective conscious, or the alien robot, or not robot, alien bugs that are, like, you know, have some sort of hive mind.
Yeah,
that's
hive
exactly
mind.
Like
Yeah.
that's the big sci-fi topic.
So, like, basically that kind of thing to me is very scary. Like, it could go. It's in my mind, it goes one or two ways. It's either really a strong positive, like it's a unifier. It's like getting people together. It's an equalizer. People
levels
with
the playing field.
It levels the playing
Yeah.
field. People have access to medical info. You know, like they can find out how to do things.
We practice surgery on each other just because we all know how to do it.
Maybe, right?
Anyway,
I don't know.
good.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but or it could go the other way, where
Yeah.
where we just lack creativity, and like, what is science without creativity or anything like in artistry? Like, if we lose all that, then
Got to keep
are we
creativity alive.
are we humans anymore?
Yeah, and I think there's always good and bad that comes out of everything, you know, like artificial intelligence. We talked about this sort of like weird side effects of social media, but like with artificial intelligence, the same sort of technology, you might be able to develop something that's, you know, scours through the law and can like help your average common folk, let's say, you know, who don't know anything about the law. You know, they're not lawyers or anything. They don't have the money to access a lawyer. But maybe you have this technology that can decipher it for you, and it's just an artificial intelligence, and that can be your lawyer, you know. And now these people that have never had access to lawyers, maybe some, you know, people that live somewhere and their landlord's screwing them over or whatever, but they have no idea that what the landlord's doing is even illegal.
Yeah.
You know, but now they can get access to it through some app on your phone or something.
Yeah,
I would say that would be a good thing, you know.
Yeah,
Power to the people.
yeah. Cool.
But
I think power to the people, that's something that's definitely already happening, right? Somebody acts out, somebody captures it on video.
oh yeah.
That person gets fired because everybody,
Yeah.
the whole collective can identify that person. And now they've lost their job because
Yeah.
they're acting inappropriately.
Yeah, yeah. It's a weird world when millions of people can, like, you know, focus in on this one singular event that only happened between two people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Really changing the subject here a little bit, because we're just kind
Sure.
of touching on
Going
these
all
things,
over the
but I really want there to be nano robots that are medics that we can swallow or inject into our blood, that we keep in there, that can basically clean things out, remove a little cancer, or do this and that.
Yeah.
And we can maybe monitor
like-
progress on an iPad
Yeah.
or something.
Like little robot white blood cells. type
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Is there any hope of that ever, or do you see anything like that?
You know, I don't know where nanotechnology is at the moment. But I have a feeling that's still far out, just because, well, who knows? But it's one thing to create something small enough like that, but it's another thing to create something small enough like that that's smart enough to do whatever you want it to
It has
do.
the energy to do it.
Yeah, and
that's right.
another thing.
How to power it? That's a
Yeah,
good
how do you
point.
power it?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
off of water already. in
Your
the
bed
body.
is a wireless charger, so every night y'all just get charged.
Oh,
up.
that's cool, John. I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this. We're inventing things right here on the show. Yeah, so it's like a medic bed. You just lay there, and maybe even the nanorobots crawl out your nose when they're done, or something. Like, they go in a little vial or something next.
They
I
know
don't
the end of their life, so they.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, cool. I just wanted to see if if there's any real reality of that in the near future, but we're maybe a couple hundred years away or something from.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I think we're nearing the end of our time, but I have one more question. What excites you the most about all of this? What keeps you going? What's motivating you that, yes, this is what I want to do?
Question. Yes.
This is going to seem silly after all the medical talk.
Well, obviously that was
It's
a
yeah.
few years in the future. Yeah.
I want to be able to play a video game like in those movies where they just put on a little thing and you can just be in this virtual world and
Oh,
explore.
just
yes.
virtual reality connected to your brain.
Yeah.
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. I just think that
Yes.
sounds so cool.
That is very cool.
Sounds like great escapism. Like, work and everything. Life is,
Yeah.
get away from that. And
And
okay.
Yeah, I guess while I'm excited about it, I also think that would be one of those things that would probably be a very detrimental, maybe, to society. That's
Could be.
leading towards like a Matrix type situation.
I do think there's good things about that too, because
Yeah.
surgeons can then jump into this world and practice their surgeries.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean anything else too.
Yeah.
Anything that requires that sharp edge of a knife, right? You're balancing on that, trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll develop that, Danny. Develop that technology, and then start a company, and then let us know we'd like to invest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll invest.
I'll throw
in
a
that.
couple bucks your way.
Yeah. It sounds good. I mean, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, well, a couple bucks might return you like $10. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all you
everybody
need.
can use $10.
Or $0. But
Now you're down negative $2.
It's a thought that counts. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, Danny. I really enjoyed that time.
Yeah. A
That's a
lot
great
to
one.
think about.
yeah, I guess I'll continue on my walk.
Yeah. I hope you're not too far from home or too lost. But
Yeah, it's a little humid today, but
yeah.
Yeah, a little moist.
Yep.
Well, thanks
Okay.
everyone for
Yep.
joining us.
Thank you for Danny
Danny
and
executive producer Schmidt,
yes,
as always.
and the whole team behind the scenes that are
Everyone.
supporting us all the time.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
Peace.